We have been alive. Your butt. Well, hello everyone who is joining us this evening. I'll be your nice air hostess today. We have a chat. Please do let us know if everything's working as it should. You can also ask questions. Now, am I getting the right audio in is the question. Can you speak? Because with me, I have a fantabulous guest above me. Hello. So the question is if this is actually working. I haven't had any feedback yet, so I'm hoping. Uh, Let me see. Nobody's watching us, so we'll just talk. I'm gonna see. Mm. Uh, I'm just getting feedback that the stream is very glitchy, so it's not actually doing what it's supposed to do. So we'll do this instead. Well, it's looking appropriately strange, says Skjalm here. So I think so. I think what we're actually going to do is that we will put this lovely. Yes, we will put the some lovely stuff on here in a minute. You get a nice chat window for now. And we'll do this, bring it to the front. Hopefully that will work. Yeah, yeah, I can't hear the other person, says the let me see. Let me see. How about now? If Natasha does a little talky talk.
Yeah, maybe if I go with no effects normally, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah, that should work now. I tried clearing out all these I hear them. Yes, hurrah. I tried clearing out all these screw ups, but apparently I'm not very good at this. So
Well, certainly you're better than I am. So
so for now, you're gonna have to enjoy the lovely star-filled sky that we have on there, and maybe even yeah, we'll have the chatting. So hello, we should have had video. I fail as a technical person. So so somebody will have to guide me. But let's talk about the Gnostic Mass, Liber 15. And yeah, gosh, it's such a big subject. I don't know why we chose this as our first subject. I guess that was my
Maybe
fault.
we can talk all night.
Yeah, we could talk all night. I could certainly talk for hours doing this. We have I also know that a certain person who once coached me on presenting is now sat there counting my ums.
Um,
Um.
uh,
Anyway,
uh,
so we start at. I was gonna look. We had a nice little list, didn't we, of things that we were going to do.
yes, but we are starting with the tradition history.
Yeah, exactly. So the introduction of the history and the traditions. So it's really a. I guess.
Maybe
How far back do we go? How far back do you know about the Gnostic Mass?
oh, how far I know. I would suggest first maybe to go with the words of the priestess in the mass, and after that, so we can go well. I know about maybe 1920 back when.
Yeah. Do you know it was written in 1913? So
Mm,
that's like super.
no,
It's super long. You know, he Crowley joins Royce's OTO in 1907. No,
no,
1910. 1910. And then he goes on. I think he was traveling somewhere, isn't he, in Russia, something like that? And he goes, "Hey, let's write this."
yeah.
Yeah, and he
Uh,
sees the Orthodox masses
He
and
was
gets inspired.
making the AGC mass in Russia
yeah,
while traveling
yeah,
with
yeah.
a female theater troupe.
Yeah, well, with the theater group traveling in Russia and EDC mess
Yeah,
making.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then he in 1913 he writes it. So that's
Yeah,
like super long ago. And the
yeah,
EGC goes back before that. I mean, if you look back in the annals, I think it's like the 1880s that the yeah 1880s that the EGC, or what was the EGC, the Gnostic Church, that wasn't the EGC as we know it today. So it's got lots of like old men doing stuff to it um, before it even becomes Crowley's EGC.
recently I have also, I don't know, probably you have read it about the Thelemic Women's History Project of the Sweet.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's nicely explained about, yeah, the woman in the author and to the history. That's
yeah. So who is the first? I mean, as far as we know, who's the first? I think is it
hearsay.
is it Leah that is the first one to do it?
Hearsay, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And that must be then on Sicily. She's such an interesting person. I
Yeah.
really want to research her more. There's some excerpts of her diaries in the Jane Wolfe, sort of on the Jane Wolfe side of things. But I miss the women around Crowley. I think they had lots of good things to say. Anyway, so Crowley writes this 1913, and he, as Crowley always does. I love that he does this, like, oh, I've got all these instructions, but you can all interpret these instructions just as you want. And so I have seen so many versions. If we're talking about the furnishings of the temple, for example,
Uh,
um, in the east, that is in the direction of Boleskine, and that's only if you're in the US. Technically, it's anywhere.
well, yeah, you can. Uh, the magic. in East can be anywhere where you want, right? So
Yeah.
and blessing
Have
house.
you has Jacob told you about the Italian brother in Norway that we met once? We went to a gathering in Norway, and it was a very crazy gathering on so many levels. And in the middle of the night, when everybody's super drunk, no, was it? It was early morning. Everybody was super drunk. I have no idea what time it was, and this Italian brother comes running through the building shouting, "Which direction is Easter? Which direction is fucking Easter?" Because he needed to do his resh or whatever it was. And I think if I'm not wrong, it was one of the Norwegian brothers who don't, just pointed him and he's like, "Oh, Easter's over there." And of course, he had no idea where East was. But the Italian was happy that now he knew which direction East was in. That's how I learned in my early magical career that it doesn't matter where the heck East is. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Well, would you like to go to the text?
Yep. So we start in the
Let me.
furnishing of the temple.
Yeah.
Well,
Just.
let's discuss actually the first time the priestess is mentioned is in the offices of the mass. The priestess should be actually Virgo intacta or specially dedicated to the service of the Great Order. She is clothed in white, blue, and gold. She bears the sword from a red girdle, the paten and the hosts, or cakes
Yes.
of light.
Yeah. It's.
What do you think he meant by Virgo intacta? I've had this so many discussions.
Oh,
And it always ends with somebody going, well, that's a secret beyond your degree.
we're going to check untouched. Why? I don't know. What?
Oh, I
What
don't
do
know.
you?
Virgo intacta, well, there are many interpretation, I guess.
We're going to check it. Well, that doesn't refer to the Virgin.
Well, does it? Or does it refer to the Virgo as in the star in the zodiac?
Yes, maybe to number six,
Mm,
6 degree.
maybe.
Huh?
Maybe it does. Who knows?
We're
That's the
going to.
thing. Yeah. So Virgo intacta, does that mean you should be of the sixth degree and
Yeah.
only of the sixth degree and nothing else? I don't know.
Well, officially, yeah, probably, but not that you cannot be or that you cannot practice it or doing it,
Oh no, of course not.
even if you are not 6 degree or
Well, he because then he's like, oh well, Virgo intacta or specially dedicated to the service of the Great Order. So
yeah.
he gives you a way out in case there are no eligible women around and you just need to grab the nearest person to do it, as often happened. That was how my first mass happened. I was the only woman around.
So, can you tell me about your first mass?
My first mass that I did, I'd never seen the mass done. I'd only read it. There were no active women above my degree in the body at the time. This was back in 2001 in Noscete Ipsum. If I remember correctly, I'd just taken my Minerva, I think, or first degree. I can't remember. But yeah, there was basically I was the only girl, so there was no other choice. And we'd had a gathering in Malmo that summer, and uh, some lovely brothers from England and America, brother Kyle. And they were like, "Well, let's do a mass. You have a temple. We had a temple back then." And I was like, "Yeah, of course. Let's do the mass. I'd love to do that." And so we practiced for like one day, and it was incredibly hot. And Kyle was incredibly gay. Uh, so my first mass was done with a gay priest who was fabulous. He was absolutely fabulous. He knew all the like movements and stuff, so all I had to do was follow along. That was my first mass in a hot temple in the middle of Sweden. I had no idea what I was doing. I just
Oh,
went along.
because you were the only woman,
Hmm.
then that's why you needed to be the priestess.
Yeah.
Why any man couldn't do the role, any other person couldn't do the role of the priestess?
Well,
Why?
I thought I was just very conveniently a woman and willing.
Yeah, well, obviously you were willing to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was very willing to do it. And I think it was a good way because then I remember the first time I saw the mass, because so I performed the mass first, and then I went to see the mass, and the first time I see the mass is in York in England, and it was brother Kelly, Chris Kelly, who uh, has been since Yonks, and he has this amazing pronunciation. He has this presence, and he looked a little bit like Crowley, like he's got the same stature as Crowley and the same wild eyes as Crowley. So when he came in and he did this mass and he lifted the priestess up on the altar, it wasn't, she didn't step on a stool or anything. He just like grabbed her and just shoved her onto the altar, and he was so forceful. He
That's
was super, super. And I remember thinking, this is as close to seeing Crowley doing mass as I'm ever going to get. This powerhouse of a man just bazooding out all the lines, and the be it ever propitious. It was amazing. It was amazing to see him. And then at the end, he goes, "True happiness. What is it? Perfect happiness." And he just smiles and looks extremely pleased with himself. It was, yeah, that was a great mass to see. I really wish everybody could have seen that at one point in their life.
that's nice. I
Yeah, and
have
I
to
mm,
say about. I didn't get that stunning experience yet. Yeah, I had a nice. I like participating, but
mm,
not yet something to blow me
mm,
blow me off. Yeah,
blow you away.
I'm waiting for that's like that to happen. Yeah,
Yeah. I
I,
think it's such a I'm happy that I saw it when I was young and impressionable, if that makes sense. Like I was
I
22 and I was this little countryside girl who'd seen very little of the world, and I just got thrown into this occultist world, and I was like, "Whoa, this is amazing!" I think if I'd seen it now, I'd probably be a bit jaded, and I'd be like, "Why are you
yeah,
guys weird?"
probably yeah. Or maybe I have my expectations are probably so. Maybe if I low them down
Yeah.
or don't expect anything, just to. But yeah, I would like. I think that it will be a mess that I in which I will be the priestess.
Hmm. That will blow your mind. Yeah, I think also
I
it
think that will make a change. Yeah,
yeah.
then
If you have a um I also have like a perfectionist streak when it comes to my math. Like I want it to be, I'm very specific, which is why to my shame, only perform math in English. A lot of people want me to do it in Swedish, and I, but I just can't get the right translation because the words to me in English mean so much. And so I think if you're a bit of a perfectionist, then the mass that is going to blow your mind the most is going to be one of your own masses because you're in control, if that makes sense.
why you don't try to make your translation on Swedish?
Eventually, I will, but
Yeah,
there's been like four translations so far, and yeah, none of them have been very good.
it's not much text. I think it's going to be nice. It's good idea, so you can
Yeah,
and maybe express yourself as the best.
yeah. I think the issue with it is that it's written on so many layers
Yeah,
that for it to come through, first of all, you've got to find the right Swedish words for it, and then you have to find the right layer, and then you have to find the magic beneath that and the equivalent. It's so convoluted a process that I think nobody's been up to the task to translate it properly. I don't think so. Yet, anyway.
But yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, so she wears, so we Virgo intacta, and then she's clothed in white, blue, and gold.
maybe we are lazy, just not doing not doing it. Okay, so yeah, and we go now with the Virgin greeting of earth and heaven.
Yes.
Oh,
Greeting of earth and heaven. One greeting. That's how I remember that it's greeting and not greetings. One greeting of earth and heaven.
earth and heaven, and by the power, the priestess, by the
Yep,
power
the power
of,
of iron. Power of
I
iron.
say to thee,
Unto thee.
arise in the name of our Lord, the Son, and of our Lord, blah blah.
That thou mayest administer the virtues to the brethren.
Yes. So this
Mm.
is the uh, what she's doing.
Yeah. So she is by the power to, with the power of iron. It's obviously the cross here. So she
Yeah,
crosses the power of iron. I say unto thee, arise in the name of our Lord, across on the tomb, the Son, and of our Lord. It's interesting that there's a footnote that says the symbol indicates uh, it's not a blank, but it should be filled with some name or other during the performance. That it shouldn't be filled with name. It indicates a brief silence in the name of our Lord, that thou mayest administer the virtues to the brethren. And then you put the sword back in, and
yeah,
then the priest always comes out. I like the priestess to sort of tear down the veil with her sword. We had it nicely in one of the tombs we had in York. Uh, we had it put with Velcro, like so it was stuck on, but it could easily be ripped. So you'd like lift your lance up, lift your sword up into the to the thing that was covering the tomb, and then you just rip it down. And I kind of like that because it's sort of just like how the priest parts the veil with the lance. You could sort of render the veil of the tomb with your sword. I kind of like that. I like that symbolism. But the priest comes forth, and then he gives the lance to the priestess. So you actually get to hold the Tower of Power there for a while.
yeah. And then taking the salt of the child and the water.
Yep. Water and the salt and mixes them in the font, creating obviously the sea,
Let
the
the salt
mother.
of the earth admonish the water to bear the virtue of the great sea.
Yeah,
Mother, be thou
adored.
adored.
Yeah. I always like that. It's like waking him up. It's like, good morning, here you go, sprinkle some water on him, wake him up with some incense, because then you go on to be the priest pure of body and soul. So it's like you're washing him and then you're perfuming him. It's almost like I sometimes draw the symbolism to that this whole opening. If we look at a biblical symbolism, it's like the Magdalene washing Jesus's feet with her hair and then anointing them with the oil, and and in a way by it's not an act of submission, it's an act of empowerment, so that she's imbuing this like this energy that she has. She comes in, you never see the priest as created, you never see her be, she is just there, she is all encompassing, and so she's just like imbuing the priest with some of her eternal magic. I like that. I like when she does the whole
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
making it just like
But let's talk about what do you think? What does symbolize the why it's she does three time crossed before returning to west before, or for example, yeah, why is, she takes salt and water?
hmm. Well,
What's
the salt of water is obviously the element of earth and water. So that it mingles into the Great Sea. They're the creation. That they're the, you know, where the creation is. And also salt is obviously purifying. She's purifying the priest. We use the word virtue, bear the virtue of the great sea. So yeah, that's why. And the three crosses is obviously to cover his forehead, breast, and body. That's one interesting thing that I've seen a few different variants of when it's the body, because I usually do it on the I'm trying to use and not grotesque, but I always do it over the, like, the penis. That's the body. So I do it face, chest, penis. I don't know if some have oh, somebody just commented saying the Virgo becomes priestess after the greeting of the earth and heaven. Yeah, does she though? She enters.
So she what?
The Virgin enters and then she becomes the priestess when she greeting of earth and heaven. Oh, that's fair enough. So that's an invocation then that she's doing there. Nice.
I associate now with the Virgin because I lost my virginity in streaming live now.
Yes, we should start with that. Every stream should be like greeting of earth and heaven.
Yes,
And then we are no longer virgins; we are priestesses.
throw a little salt and water
Mm-hmm.
toward me. So I rise again
Yeah.
and I put you on the altar.
No. First she puts the first you dress him. You dress him up.
Ah,
You
oh yeah, I
tart him
forgot.
up in his little sun and serpent,
Yeah,
robing him.
yeah, and okay, so and after, be the priest fervent of body and soul, be
Yep.
the flame of the sun thine ambience, O thou priest of the sun,
Yep.
the serpent thy
Thy
crown,
crown, O thou priest of the Lord. Say it like we mean it.
be the Lord present among.
Yeah, but but here's the consecration of the lance. So this is where you take the lance between your hands and runs them up and down the shaft 11 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is nice part in the mass. Sometimes, yeah, this is the most I think erotic part.
You think?
Yeah. Well, it can be.
It's
Well,
one of
depends on the
those.
priestess. Depends on the priestess. Yeah,
Yeah.
she can a bit take her time there and go up and down, up and down.
I always the fun thing is that some I've done mass with a few priests. Some priests like to raise it up during it, like
Oh yeah. Well.
like
Yeah.
raising it up, or if he, all should be standing at this point. But I don't think he raises the lance before the therefore whom we adore we also invoke by the power of the lifted lance.
Yeah.
Then he raises the lance, so you shouldn't be. Yeah, it's very. Again, he writes some of the stage instructions are weird, and I remember Rodney Orpheus having a very long workshop where he went through all the, like, this is what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do things.
Here you can show off a bit egoistic character.
Yeah.
You can see the person performing the mass. It's interesting where you can see you can see the character of the person that is performing.
Oh, absolutely,
How
absolutely.
they're doing and what they're paying attention on, where they stop and where the
Mm-hmm.
voice,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see, are they
Yeah,
egocentric, are they theatrical, or
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I
Uh,
think that's such a good point. And also you can also see, I mean, we used to have mass marathons where we did like a mass every, so 12, 3, etc., etc., around the clock. So every 3 hours we would do mass.
oh,
And
that's a
yeah, it was really lovely. But so you get to rotate between a few priests if
good
you
idea.
volunteer to do it more than once, and that was really nice. But you also get a really sort of feel for who is, like, some are so by the book, And
Exactly.
they can be sometimes that can be too dry as well. You're like, there is no passion. And then you have people like Chris Kelly who lifts you up and throws you on the altar, and he's very flamboyant, and it's half theater, you know. It's very much theater.
Yeah, you can yeah, people can reveal so much doing
Yeah.
it. And
So
but it's a good idea to have like that marathon, and it's really good for training.
yeah, it was really good for trading. I mean, it really drills mass into you, and it wasn't official masses. It wasn't like, there would be 100 people watching, but it was just something we did when we had a gathering a few times in the UK, and it was super useful. You learn how to do the mass. You
Uh,
learn you get to know people as well. You got to know magicians that you work with. It
you
was
see ideas also that you can, yeah, every next can embrace
mm,
yourself and change, and yeah,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
nice. That is good idea. I would like that too.
Mm, yeah. So where are we now? We're at the opening ceremony, opening of the veil. So they, therefore, whom we adore, we also invoke by the power of lifted lance, and then he takes her by the right hand, her right hand, with his left. So this is really good. This is good sort of instructions, because this tells you where you are in the temple now. So you should be stood on the left, facing the left-hand side of the altar now. So if you ever had any confusions about where to stand, I always that was my biggest sort of before I'm on the altar, I'm always really like, oh, am I supposed to be standing here? How many times have I walked around this super altar or this altar? How many times have I belong? How many? Sorry, I just read a comment while I was talking. No, how many times have I walked around this altar? How many times have I circled this? And then I'm confused. And where's the priest and where are the children? And as soon as I get on the altar, I'm like, oh, good. No more legwork. I don't have to worry about counting
You need
circles and finding
to
where I
know
am.
the symbols. You need to know the symbols here a lot, so they can
Yeah,
help you how to move and where
yeah,
to look and where. I think without knowing them, I don't think that you cannot manage in this
yeah,
part.
yeah. No, and then I, priest and king, take the virgin pure without spot. I have had priests jokingly when we rehearsed make like noises. Like, sure, yeah, you're a virgin pure without spot. Anyway, it's always as funny. I, priest and king, take thee, virgin pure without spot. I upraise thee, I lead thee to the east. I set thee upon the summit of the earth. He thrones the priestess upon the altar. The deacon and the children follow in rank behind him. He takes the book of the law, resumes his seat, and holds it open on her breast with her two hands, making a descending triangle with thumbs and forefingers. The people mace it. Ah, descending triangle.
Yeah, and again, three times and triangle, and
Yeah, but the descending triangle is a specific symbol. It's an elemental symbol, isn't it?
yeah, yes, the
Of
thumbs.
yeah,
Yeah,
of fire. Um, and then
here
gives the
comes
last.
the deacon.
Hmm? And
Here
now
appears
the priest
the
gives the
deacon
lance to the
appears
deacon.
here,
Yeah,
right?
the deacon appears from behind, and the priest gives the lance to the deacon to hold, and takes the ewer from the child and sprinkles the priestess, making 5 crosses, forehead, shoulders, and thighs. Some of the priestess,
Yeah,
the magician, little nub. Priest takes a censer from the child and makes 5 crosses as before, and then the children go away. And then he
yeah,
kisses the book of the law 3 times, kneels
yes,
for a space in adoration, um, and
and
join
drove the
hands, knuckle
ball
close, and thumb in.
over the whole altar. So
Yeah, and then he closes you in. I love this bit because once he's closed that, I really want to start building that like longing. And it's really hard when you're trying to, divest yourself of clothes. And it's always nice and quiet in the temple when he does those first 3 times circumambulations, and you just hear like click clunk from the sword being put down, and all these, like the priestess just throwing all her
Uh,
gear off. But
this is the time of the for the priestess. He takes a break here.
the priestess, well, you don't take a break because you're busy getting naked. So
That's the take her time to
yeah.
check the cities, to check is are they on place and are they big enough or are they uh
I think I want to, when the priest comes and he goes, when he steps onto the first step of the altar, I want to be focused. You know, you want to have that connection through the veil. So you want to have all your clothes taken off by that point.
yeah. And
Uh,
he starts from the east again, right?
yeah, yeah.
How where from where he right yeah.
No. He returns to the east, as in he comes back around and up to the east where the altar
Oh
is,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
he goes on to this first step. Oh, circle of stars, where our Father is. You know, I really, talking about this, I have heard the priest's speech so many times. Like, I think I know it better than my current priest does. And I always find myself saying it in, to myself. I don't say it loudly, of course, so nobody can hear it. But I have this, even though I'm female, identify as female, and I still have this like intrinsic longing to be able to do the priest role,
yeah, well,
to do that journey. I would love to do the straight off swapping, I would love to do the journey towards. I would love to do the active sort of, because the priestess she is active. She's not just a passive vessel all the time, but it's that whole travel through the veil towards that. I wish I could do it. It's so emotional.
we can how about let's train I will train the priestess rule and you can train the priest rule.
Yeah.
We
Shall we
can
do
try.
those three? Shall we do those three speeches?
No, I think we should concentrate on priestess tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do that.
let's
So then
keep.
it's the priestess speech,
Yeah,
which is like the pièce de résistance for the priestess. This is as much as you get to say. After this, you're pretty much quiet the whole way until
yeah,
it's really you. Oh, there is no law beyond do what thou wilt. Um, this is this is snipped straight out of the Book of the Law, isn't it?
yeah. I think it is.
Mm.
I'm just going to the book of James Wasserman
Which one?
and Nancy Bishop commentary of Liber
Ah,
15.
okay, because I have
Enough.
Spasius's and Helena's here. I have
Gnostic
Mystery of Mystery, which is
okay, so where I the priestess, but to love me is better than all things. If under the night star in the desert, though presently burns mine incense before me, invoking me with a pure heart and the serpent flame therein. Thou shalt come a little to lie in my bosom. For one kiss will thou then be willing to give all. And should I? Do you want
yeah, I
to
can do
go?
it.
Yeah,
But whoso gives one particle of dust shall lose all in that hour. He shall gather goods and store of women and spices. He shall wear rich jewels. We shall exceed the nations of the earth in splendor and pride, but always in the love of me, and so shall he come to my joy. I
I,
charge you earnestly to come before me in a single robe and covered with a rich headdress. I love you. I yearn to you, pale or purple, veiled or voluptuous, I who am all pleasure and purple, and drunkenness of the innermost sense desire you.
put. Put on the wings and arouse the coiled splendor within you. Come into me, to me, to me, sing the rapturous love song into me. Burn to me perfumes, wear to me jewels, drink to me, for I love you, I love you. I am the blue-lighted daughter of sunset, I am the naked brilliance of the vulturious night sky. To me, to me.
Mhm. I love that.
Amazing, yeah.
I don't know how many times I've said wear to me perfumes and burn to me jewels.
Yeah. You speechless when you read this. It's like an ecstasy, you know.
I know
Oh,
it is. And when you sit on that altar and you just get there's such rhythm in it, and you don't realize the rhythm until you've said it a few times, and you get into this very mantra-esque. I, who am all pleasure and purple and drunkenness of the innermost sense, desire you. Blah blah blah. You know, it's very sensuous, and I like that about it. It really builds, and especially when you have the priest who's already have or has all that intention towards the priestess. He has all that focus going into the veil, and then it's like a spark that connects them, because then the priest goes then on, he is the I am the flame that burns in the heart of every man and in the core of every star. I am life and the giver of life, that therefore is the knowledge of me, the knowledge of death. I
yeah.
like that. It's so and then deacon comes in. I don't know why Crowley put the deacon bit there. Why did he do that? For me it just interrupts everything.
No, no, no. Well, to be more interesting.
Yeah, or maybe because people will get tired of sitting in that flame position.
Yeah, it's just only two, yeah, persons. I don't know.
But yeah, my
The
people rise up and
crowd,
restore blood circulation.
more people, more fun.
Yeah, I guess so. And then it's the third priest, which is Akadua to Furbiu. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. And then a whole bunch of, well, Greek.
There is no law beyond do what thou wilt.
Yeah,
So mote it be.
so much it be. And then,
Nice, nice.
yeah,
It's amazing. Yeah, and I don't think that something else. It's I that exists something better than this.
no, this first like invocation is one of the most powerful invocations I have experienced. And you dabble in magic, you do Enochian stuff, you do geisha stuff, you play around with lots of different things. And then for me anyway, and this is why I can talk about this for hours, has been my calling. And when I realized that it was my calling with the whole priestess sort of EGC side of things, was when I couldn't replicate that feeling of those invocations anywhere else. I couldn't replicate that rapture, that ecstasy anywhere else, and so I just kept coming back for more. It's sometimes it can be better than any drug.
Yeah, it is by the sign of light appear, though glorious, upon the throne of the sun.
Yeah, the sign of light. That's so good.
I am the naked brilliance of the
Voluptuous,
voluptuous. Oh, so hard word.
voluptuous, voluptuous. Even the word is voluptuous. It's like
Voluptuous.
voluptuous, sumptuous. Yeah.
Voluptuous. So, what I wanted, I had something on my mind. About the our. Okay, should we talk
Oh,
about?
this is the like the dance here, because here's the priestess is seated with the paten in her right hand and the cup, and she then sets them down, the paten to her left and the cup to her right.
Yeah.
Crowley, it's you know, yeah, I know there's probably some deep secret magical reason for that, but it's annoying when you are in the
I,
middle of you're in the
Extra.
middle of this like ecstasy, and you'll have to worry about where stuff goes. But anyway,
I think that this just I think that he came up with something, and we all just think that he there is some secret behind. But I think he just came up, and
yeah,
I don't think that it's something anything deep inside. It just symbolic is well, what is cup well
yeah.
more kabbalistic.
So here, this is because this is after this. The priest presents the lance, which she kisses 11 times, Fnar, and then she holds it to her breast while the priest, falling at her knees, kisses them, his arms stretched along her thighs. He remains in this adoration while the deacon intones the collect. This, for me, is the most erotic part of the mass
Touching
because
her breasts. What?
no, 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 she holds the lance. So I'm holding the lance now. I've got
Yeah,
the
but
rod of power, and the priest is kneeling before the priestess in adoration, and and you're doing it for quite some time. You're doing it, of the office of the collect, which is bloody long. Um, and I and what happens there is just the touch of somebody's arms on your thighs, and you've built up this invocation, and now it's in the union. I think that it's very very sensual, in not sexual but sensual. It's very,
oh, well, the
very
thighs
magical.
are yeah, well,
Yeah.
the biggest muscle, and it's sensitive, especially inner thigh.
Yeah,
So
and then he has his head between your legs, and I have had the old priest that I've had to put my foot in the chest and like, no, no, stay away. Anyway, yep.
I have the sword. Stay away.
Yeah, I have the well, yeah, the sword is on the altar. So
I will. Yeah.
I also
Or
have the stick, so I will poke you hard. Um,
okay. So we finished with the no where
yeah,
oh
and
yeah
then you go to the collects,
yeah
which is the deacon, and I think they're, to be honest, these are beautiful. I like them. I love them, but they get so much attention because I think because they're so like um full of symbolism and full of straight out like talking about things that are relevant to people, then people like them and people like talk about them a lot. Um, and especially the list of saints. Mm,
yeah yeah. These are nice text.
mm,
And well, the list of the saints, I don't, well, not that much, but the Lord, the moon, the lady,
yeah,
it's the earth, the principles, birth, marriage,
mm,
death, and the end.
yeah. Yeah, I like the end. I think it's nice. Okay, and then we get the consecrations of the elements, and this is really again um, here I find myself as like I'm just a holder. So the priest hands me things and I hold things and shuffle them around. I don't think that I know that the priest is doing lots of magical stuff with it. I don't yeah, whatever. For this is the covenant of resurrection. Accept, O Lord, the sacrifice of life and joy, true warrants of the covenant of resurrection. And then you kiss the lance again.
Uh,
And then there's a lot of like this is a lot of technical, I think, like technical magical stuff with the host. He's putting the sap in the cookie, basically.
oh, I don't think that this I will ever. I will get to point where I will completely understand why a step by step is like this, and why now he touches the cup with the
Mhm.
lens, and why he
Yeah.
takes the cup, and why he I think if we end up in the I think that it's just a ritual, something, a performance that doesn't ha- uh, 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 it doesn't have that much meaning as we search and look for, and
No, and this is the bit that is very
uh,
much taken from the Roman Catholic, and it's this they do this in the church as well. They're like, this is my blood and this is my body, and you have to make it holy for the congregation. So this is more for the congregation, uh, and like
but this
some.
is just, I think, a normal procedure or
Mm,
the activity that he's doing, and we are like, oh, why he's doing like that, why that, and you're trying to find the meaning in something that, it's there is no miss. The action is meaning by itself. It doesn't has any secret or behind.
mm,
Uh, just an action.
mm.
That
Oh no, I don't think there's any secrets. I think it's just very straightforward, pointing, saying
yeah,
what things are and naming them and making them, consecrating
holy.
them.
Yeah, making them holy. So it's nothing else. Yeah, well, if you fall into the why
Mm,
and oh why, there is,
yeah. Then we have the anthem.
yeah. I would like to. Can you read it? I would like
Mm?
to. It's nice.
Thou who art I beyond all I am, who has no nature and no name, who art when all but thou art gone, thou centre and secret of the sun, thou hidden spring of all things known and unknown, thou aloof alone. Thou, the true fire within the reed, brooding and breeding, source and seed of life, love, liberty and light, thou beyond speech and beyond sight. Thee I invoke, my faint fresh fire, kindling as mine intense aspire. Thee I invoke, abiding one, thee centred secret of the sun, and that most holy mystery, of which the vehicle am I, appear most awful and most mild, as it is lawful in thy child. For of the Father and the Son, the Holy Spirit is the norm, male, female, quintessential one, man being veiled in woman form.
Glory
Glory
and
and worship in the highest,
those
thou dove, mankind that deifiest.
being that race most royally run to spring sunshine, truth, winter storm, glory and worship to the thee, sap of the world dash wonder thee,
Wonder tree.
wonder tree, yeah. First man, glory to the
To thee,
throne,
glory to thee from gilded tomb, glory to thee from waiting room, glory to thee from earth unplowed, glory
glory,
to thee from virgin vowed,
glory to thee, true unity of the eternal Trinity, glory
glory
to
to
thee,
thee, thou siren dam and self of I am that I am,
glory to thee beyond all term, thy spring of sperm, thy seed and germ,
germ,
germ.
germ.
Glory, glory to thee, eternal Son, the one in thee, the three in one.
Mm,
This is nice.
yeah. And then sap of the world ash wonder tree. I always get like a superhero vision when they say it's like sap of the world ash wonder tree. Is it a tree? Is it a bird? No, it's the wonder tree.
Glory to thee, eternal Son, the one and thee, the three in one.
3 and 1. And then we get to the priestess clasps the cusp in her right hand. Then this is the putting the sap in the cookie. This is what I was talking about earlier. That it doesn't, it normally doesn't matter as long as you put the sap in the cookie.
Yeah. To be,
and
yeah. Yeah.
and
Well,
this
I have been told that the mass should be performed by male and female. Female should
hmm,
take the role of the priestess, and male should take the role of the priest. I don't know, that part, it bothers me a bit because, yeah, I think that everyone is should perform any role in which they want to. Female can perform the priest and opposite, and doesn't.
I think it's a delicate question because it's twofold. So first you get like people's magical practice and Liber Oz, and can we really start interfering with people? Man has the right to. Can we interfere with that? And then it becomes political in a sense that it becomes a ritual within an organization that has a certain structure and that follows a certain dogma, and
Exactly.
that
But
balance is so hard to take. I sort of like the attitude of pick one and stick with it, but then again, I want to be able to do that. Like I said, I wish I could do the priest, or I want to at some point do the priest role because it has a calling to me.
and
And
also you can do that why you cannot do it, but like official,
mm,
you're not all, you cannot do it. That's a bit, things are changing, right?
yeah,
So also this can be changed too. So
yeah.
it's that
I think
simple.
I think it yeah, I don't mind there being a, if you're going to do it as the official ritual of the EGC, and you're doing it with uninitiated people, and or maybe people who haven't seen the mass before. I don't mind them saying that that has to be the very gender specific roles as it is written, but I don't see why you can't perform it for
But
official
these
people.
are roles.
Mm.
So a role can be played, doesn't, it is a role. So it is a role of a priestess and it is a
Yeah.
role of a priest.
Mm.
So me as a female, I can play a role of the priest, right?
Yeah, but people, here's the good thing is that people will then come and say, well, it's a secret beyond your degree, you wouldn't understand that this is how it has to be.
Yeah, sure. Well,
And that is frustrating, I think. But anyway, I'm sure I'll find out in good time, in due time,
yeah.
what the secret is. But I think I don't see why. Most of all, I don't see why we can't do it, uh, and play around and experiment with it. Um, Medicine for the Rights in Liber Oz is Duty by Crowley.
I think we can, but just we need to get rid of those frigid and old members, and when
No,
when
no.
they die, then maybe we can officially. But
Aw,
yeah, well, those are roles, so you can perform it. Yeah, it is like you said
I,
before. If it, you need a sperm and you need a womb to create a child, right? It's a
yeah.
question, and
Yeah, but then that means so they,
performing.
because this was like I said before, my husband is sterilized. What if, or I was, if I was sterilized,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
would
so
happen then?
that
Then
doesn't
it's not, that it's
then
not a
you're
fertile sperm and egg. We
yes,
don't,
then
does that
you're
mean we
not
don't make
a
magic?
woman. Yes, then you cannot make a magic.
No, no magic.
That's why
They
I'm
have clearly not been in my bedroom.
saying it. It is rigid, and how some things are, and people then especially these old members are strict to
Mm.
these things that
But I think
I
it's really important. One thing that it brings, it's also, and it's been discussed before, if a woman then enters, the, what's it called in English, the menopause, that's it. If a woman is enters menopause and becomes infertile, does that mean she can't priestess anymore?
no, she can't.
Because I have objections to that, and I'm pretty sure that Constance de Ket has objections to that as well.
Yeah, of course, everyone who feel
Yeah.
this, I think, our role and its performance to, I don't know, to uh, well, uh,
We
at
we said
least
on
just go closer to one.
we talked about it on Stooping Starlight before, about how we, um whatever Crowley wrote and whatever was up in his deal, um we still have to look at anything. I mean, it's written in 1913. And I think our perception and humanity's perception has moved in a way that Crowley predicted. He predicted that man would grow into this more child, like the Horus, Aeon of Horus, and this very forceful, generation. And I also hope that if Crowley was around today, he would say, "Guys, you've come so far. Gay rights is a thing, and transgender is a thing, and acknowledging humans for humans is a thing. Why can't you see that what I wrote wanted to achieve that, and now that you've achieved it, play like the children you are. All this consciousness that you've achieved, use it and build on it." Crowley was not a conservative. He was not a reactionary. And I believe that, of course, he was English nobility, so you know a lot of things would have stopped him. But he was bisexual. That was something for that age was huge. He was a woman's rights, voice speaker. I spoke out for women's rights. Um, so I think that Crowley would say, no, 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 that's not how you're supposed to do it. If he saw the progress we'd made today, I think he would be like, why are you still sticking around to this? That's not what I meant. That's not how. That's my interpretation. And now I am a center of pestilence.
Think that is maybe is misinterpreted during the years, because what he wanted, as how I
Mm,
see on this, my perspective is
mm,
he wanted to show a miracle, a creation. So what the way to show that he chose conceiving a child, because
mm,
that is something that even if you are even if you are not sterile, there are people that are not sterile and that they cannot conceive a child, right?
mm. Yeah.
The process, it's by itself, is a miracle, it's a
Mm,
creation. So
yeah.
it's so he chose that to show through a performance,
Mm,
mass, to yeah, to to show to reveal secret of creation, right?
mm, mm.
And
And not
but
only to reveal it, but to unleash it and say, it's not, you can use it, and here is what you can do with it, and this is how it empowers you, and this is how it makes
exactly
magic for you.
in
And it's the key to immortality, and it's the key to, so he created this amazing tool, and then sets it free on his spiritual children. And then his spiritual children go, well, now we're not going to do anything with it. We're just going to sit here like dragons and hoard it and say that's not what Crowley said. That's not what Crowley thought.
and obviously to the years is too bookworthy. People, some of them, most maybe of them, bookworthy get it. Too bookwork that it
Yeah,
needs to be man or woman. It needs to
yeah.
be this in this. These are roles. These are not.
Mm,
You know. It's not bookwork and strict. It
mm-mm.
is. Just some example that he choose how easily to
Yeah,
explain it, creation, a miracle,
yeah. No,
and
I think it's super important to not get stuck up in his. I guess attracted to that side of esotericism are often people who are very, and me being one of them, people who want to know secrets and like the deep down, where does this come from and what was this about? And we like to collect old books and
curious people.
yeah, but that I think you can then construe it to being conservatism. Let's conserve it as it has always been because that's the only way to do it. And Yeah.
depends on what age and what era you're
Mm.
living in or
Yeah.
anything. Everything is changing. The change is only constant, so
Yeah.
you shouldn't interpret book
No.
things because everyone is its own star and own
Yeah.
perception and
And he said it. I love that. Every man and every woman is a star. That means everybody has within them the capacity of creation. So everybody can do anything, which means anybody can be priest and anybody can be priestess.
yeah, it's just a role. But when you go to and when it of like EDC or things, so they some people get it and interpreted it so strictly and bookly. So and creating something that that's maybe it's one of the reasons that I'm even thinking of being baptized or because and I come to a conflict when it comes that I need to if that is a need if I want to go further,
Mm. You
so
need to.
then I come to obviously to
I can baptize you, and then I can slap you in the face. When
exactly.
it's the only reason why I became an ordained priestess. God damn it, is so I can slap people in the face. I remember my own confirmation, and Petter had told me, he's like, "You're gonna get slapped in the face," and we did it in the middle of the summer, and it was just me and Lurken and Rodney, and this short Irishman slaps me in the face, and I was just like, "I can't take
Oh,
you seriously, Rodney. I cannot."
you didn't get mad?
Huh?
You didn't get well
Oh no,
mad?
he was just there as a witness. So he was just there as a
Okay.
he was there because he was visiting Rodney. So we were like, let's make me a deacon. Yeah, let's make you a deacon.
That's nice. Let's make let's okay. I want to become a pope.
Well, I have actually, and I'm super super proud of this. I am, the most fallible pope. Beta has said so.
Uh, just because you can, why not?
Yeah, I said that to him. We were at the at the creation of the UK Grand Lodge, and we were in the bar. I don't know who else was there. It was like Beta and people. And I said, "But I want to be Pope." And he's like, "You can be Pope. You're the most fallible Pope there is." And then I'm Pope. Yep, I have it. Nah, who wants to be
Okay,
Pope?
so about the trainings.
Yes, training.
Yeah.
Mm.
So where to start?
Where to start? How do you start training to be priestess?
How I'm starting first? What I'm training first. I'm trying to convince my. Well, I'm thinking why I should start to train for a priestess. Priestess.
You're thinking
Why?
why?
Yeah. Why I should do that?
Well, is it your will?
Well, I want to have a mess.
To
I
what
want.
end?
Well, if recently around me is there is no mess happening. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to organize mess. So when I am coming to a point where I cannot even organize, then I'm like, okay, then I'm going for. So
I'll just make
I
my
will
own.
make my own mess.
You can do all
What
the
else?
parts. You could be like swapping, like have different hats and just do the
Well,
whole mass
I
yourself.
hope I hope it's not going to come till that. At least I hope I have around at least a priest. So maybe we will have a problem if we want to swap the roles. I will need to convince him to train to swap the roles. So maybe he to train for a priestess and I I will to be the priest.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. I'd come to that. I'd watch that.
Yeah, so so why? I think that that is one of the parts
Yeah.
why. And
Yeah.
after, of course, I want to experience to see. Also, I think that I have a bit in front of people. I had a situation that happened to me as young.
Mm.
I was before I was talking in front of people a lot,
Yeah.
performing and singing in choir, and and it happened one situation where I like blocked myself, and it was disaster. And
Mm.
after that, I developed a fear and of performing in front of people.
Yeah.
And I think also that is something that it will help me. Also, I'm going to train the language better.
Yeah.
And
Bye,
one
bye, Scallon, by the way. He's saying goodbye in the chat.
by scam.
Yeah.
Also, why then? What else? Also be naked in front of the people.
Mm.
I
Mm.
think that well,
See, yeah, that is a big for me. That has been a big thing. Like, I really don't like being naked in front of people.
yes,
Uh,
moment
and
I don't.
and also if you have a priest that is not necessarily your life partner as such, they might also find it a bit, that that it's
Awkward.
too,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So we found Pet and I found a really good solution where I wear this like see-through fabric, so it's there but it's not there, and
yeah,
that has helped me a lot. That's like, yeah, that works for me.
that's a good idea.
And it's always your decision if there is savage country or not. Like, there's
Yeah,
nobody who can tell you if this is a savage country or not. That's the priestess decision.
yeah. Well, of course, yeah. But if doing it, that is part of the role, right? You
Mm.
can change it. Yeah, you can. But that if we are going strict by the role how it
Yeah.
is, then that is a part, so that you need to, let's say, well, if you have a certain situation where you need to
Yeah.
overcome it. And I
Yeah.
think that that will be a bit, because we all have insecurity, right,
Yeah.
about how we are. And
Yeah.
so I think that will be it will be helpful in that.
Yeah. I mean, it is a good, practice, and I think from a ritual perspective, it's a good exercise for the priestess. For the priest, it's a huge memorization task. It's like doing the magic is only half the work. It's like memorizing all the shit you're supposed to say. It's really hard. But for the priestess, it really is such good ritual practice because you really need to be aware about what's going on. You're the vessel, and you're like this huge conduction rod for the whole universe when you're sat on that altar, and it's super good to, like, just as a magician to do it, not as a priestess or a OTO or whatever, but as a magician. It's really good practice. And
Yeah, well,
people always say, "Oh, the mass, it's not. I'd rather do a Nokian." It's like, yeah, sure, be academic. That's fine. Love it. You've memorized 777. I'm super proud of you. Well done, 10 points. But the mass is so much of a ritual and so much magic in there that as a practitioner of magic, it is definitely a good ritual to be doing. It's not just church on a Sunday.
yeah, yeah, well, being part of, especially for women, I think, because they're the one, the priestess is the one who wakes up the priest, right?
Mm,
She's the one who priest needs to
mm,
conceive a child.
yeah. But
So
if we're being crass and very mundane about it, I've carried two children, and that's it is that emotional and physical labor condensed down into 45 minutes of magic. Uh, and yeah, that was
exactly.
tough.
It
It is tough.
people experience, and
Mm,
that probably, and that it comes with all, also the training, the socializing
mm,
with the with people, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Doing it.
talking to other, one of my greatest mass related experiences outside of performing it is when, again, this was also at the opening of the UK Grand Lodge. Saw Helena come over and she held an impromptu, like, let's get all the women who want to priestess. It doesn't matter if you're ordained or not. I don't care if you're Minerval or if you're seventh, eighth, whatever. Just come and sit in this circle and we'll talk about mass. And Sora Helena was like, you can ask me anything. And that community we built that day when we were all sat around talking about mass and sharing experiences, and that was super good. Like, it was so powerful.
Yeah,
I really like that.
it will be. It will be. I would like. Yeah. Well, it's. I like. You need also to start,
Mm,
and it's not much text, and it's nothing. It's nothing complicated.
no.
Anything. It's uh, you need to start and doing it.
Mm-mm. And I mean, the biggest thing to memorize for the priestess is the priestess speech. And conveniently, you are hiding behind a veil when you do that. So technically, you could just be holding the speech and reading it,
Yeah,
technically.
can
So
do that.
it's the priest has the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah,
Like, he has the worst end of the stick. You have the easy end of the stick.
yeah. Yeah, it will be a good idea. I would like to start. I was thinking before maybe deacon, but I think that it's better if I start with priestess.
Yeah.
Priestess. I don't know why it comes to pronounce two R. Priestess.
Priestess. Good.
Priestess.
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 Yeah.
Priestess before stress.
Yeah,
Priestess.
pre-stress. Yeah, pre-stress. That's what you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's another thing that you will learn as a priestess, that the word aum, because
Ah,
just before you go in, they say
uh,
aum, 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 that
huh?
your mind has this Pavlovian connection after a few times, that just as the last aum intones and you're supposed to, like, barge in through the door, you're like, I really need to pee now. So every time somebody says aum, you're like, here we go. I need to pee. Yep, that's it.
Au,
Aum.
au, the aum in Macedonian is aum for my
Ah, so funny.
aum. Oh,
Yeah.
Ella, it was nice talking and hanging out with
Yeah.
you,
Yes, that's true.
and it was nice way of losing my virginity.
Yeah.
You
Now you're no longer a Virgo intacta.
No, but you were so nice. You make a really nice and smooth penetration, and uh, uh, it fun, and you were gentle,
I'm
and
very gentle.
you were
I have a
leading.
smooth voice to guide you, yeah.
Exactly, you were leading. The penetration was amazing. So I had a re- I'm almost not almost. I'm getting a orgasm slowly,
Good.
slowly.
I'm glad we had this braingasm. So, but do you think this kind of talk will now definitely encourage you to want to do priestess more?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Good.
definitely. And it warmed me up.
Yeah.
You
That's good.
know,
It
uh,
has served a purpose.
yes, it
Yes.
warmed me up. And I'm not only that, it's also um, how to say to choose the right words. Also encouraged me and gave me more enthusiasm. Now I cannot wait for another stream.
Yeah, good.
for
Well,
next
in
one.
1 month's time, then
Yeah, well,
there'll be a stream.
long
I
time.
can
Yeah.
see that I have two little rogue children coming into my
Yeah,
lounge.
well, I can see them moving, but we can also include something maybe to be more interesting for the next one, or have an
Yeah,
audience at least.
yeah, absolutely.
I was
And
thinking maybe an idea. One of the evenings
mhm,
we can also stream
yeah,
one of the dinners.
yeah,
Is a nice
that would
idea.
be fun. That was a really good idea.
The one who wants to talk, we can talk. The one who wants to sit out there, they can
You can
sit.
sit out there. That's a
Yeah,
good plan. I like that.
it's
But I'll
interesting.
see you tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We are coming. We have a train at
Yeah.
5.
Ah, cool.
No,
That is
well,
so good. I'm so
is it
excited.
too early? Maybe I hope it's not going to rain, so maybe we'll go around to first make a tour
Yeah.
around Malmo.
Malmö.
Malmö. Uh,
Malmö. You have to do like the cat.
yeah, I cannot. Yeah, I remember. I cannot still pronounce them without making a face, grimace. So
Yeah.
when I'll get to a
It's okay.
point,
Danes can't pronounce them without making a face either.
no, 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 they are not making a face. When I get to point when I'm not making a face, then I can say,
Mm.
okay, now I know Danish.
Yeah.
And I have an exam in Tuesday. På tisdag, jag har
Yes.
exam.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
That's really good. You know, it takes children like twice as long to learn Danish as any other language.
uh, yeah, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's.
I,
Hi,
I,
hi.
I I need to attend to this one now. My child needs attention. Anyway,
Yes,
but it was great talking, and
yes.
we will schedule another one for next month. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
like this.
You
This
can
is
come
good
up
format.
with nice topic,
Yeah,
and yeah, and super.
awesome. Well, 93s to you, and
Nice.
have a great night. Okay,
You
bye.
too. Bye.